absolutely beautiful and ideal start to the day here in Northwest Florida. As we take a look at St. Andrew Bay, we're going to find almost glassy waters out there because winds are calm at the current point, and we have an absolutely beautiful start over at St. George Island as well. Beautiful blue skies going to take shape over the next few minutes as the sun begins to rise. Let's jump on over to our WWYL weather where you live, starting with Santa Rosa, Defuniak Springs, Panama City Beach, and Cottondale, where we not only have clear skies, we are free of showers, thunderstorms, and rainfall this morning. Not only setting us up dry, but also setting us up quite warm. Areas inland in the mid to lower 50s to start your day. Areas along the coast in mid to upper 50s, and even into the lower 60s in areas like Apalachicola. Areas to the north and east like Mariana, Bluntstown, and Tallahassee, a little bit cooler in the low to mid 40s this morning. Comparative to where that puts us in terms of comparing to yesterday, we've got temperatures at about 5 to almost 10 degrees warmer in most spots. Everybody either at or a little bit above where we were yesterday, aside from all the way over towards the east where you find Tallahassee at about 4 degrees cooler. Our dog walking forecast today sets up a beautiful condition for not only walking the dog during the afternoon, but also being outdoors in general, as we will find temperatures climbing into the low to mid 70s by the late morning and into the early afternoon as well. So where that puts us in terms of our surface map starts with this. We saw this boundary move on through overnight into this morning. Now it's down to the south and east, where we find towards our north this stationary boundary welling up the moisture to the north of the boundary. Down to the south of the boundary, we are nice and calm as well as dry. Will not only be dry today, but will be dry into the next few days as well. The current setup has that boundary kind of stalled out right across the south central part of the country, keeping a lot of the moisture to the north, and you see that on your water vapor imagery as well. Dry air towards the south. So let's go ahead and jump on into your weather headlines for the day. Our weather headlines start with this. Patchy fog for some this Monday morning, but that is lifting pretty quickly as the sun comes out. We have a stretch of sunshine and a warming trend both continuing. Speaking of that warming trend, that leaves us with 80+ degree highs for areas inland as we move over the next few days. And our weather headlines continue into today with that warming trend that keeps our 7-day forecast in the mid to upper 70s and lower 80s. That's going to be quite the setup over the next few days, as our 7-day forecast has the mid to upper 70s inland, lower 80s across the coast as well, and inland areas. So everybody's seeing the upper 70s and lower 80s today.
Absolutely, Trey. Well, it seems like it is a sunny, warm day out, but that doesn't mean that rip currents can't occur. And with a lot of tourists coming to our area, we want to make sure that everyone is aware on what to do and how to spot rip currents.
Yes.
Yeah, and the reason that these rip currents can occur when there's a beautiful, clear, sunny day sometimes relates to the winds and the flow of the tides. And behind us now, we've got the rip current matrix as issued by the National Weather Service office in Tallahassee. And you see a lot of yellow there. That's because these areas all seeing yellow flags today. Now, some isolated spots still will use green flags, but this is what it looks like from the Weather Service Tallahassee's viewpoint. They issue the rip current matrix for their counties, county warning areas, what we call them. And then the Weather Service Mobile, they issue their own as well, and theirs looks like this, a little bit different. But the reason that they do that is because their counties are kind of set up like TV viewing areas. We have a certain amount of counties that we get in our station, our signal can reach, and the Weather Service offices are set up very similar. Not identical, but very close. And so they have a certain local area so they can kind of fine-tune these forecasts to fit what the area matches.
Okay, so it sounds like we're in for a pretty clear, calm forecast, and rip currents can still happen, but what sort of weather conditions create the most rip currents?
And so if you have gusty winds and you have a strong shift in the currents, you can have those winds shifting the currents around, and that sometimes can create the rip currents because it's not just the top of the water. You have to think about the layers as well. You see the multiple layers in the water. You've got the top layer, and then if you've got an undercurrent that is coming in and really swapping things around due to, may it be a storm offshore, maybe it's a tropical system in the summer months, those can really create rip currents as well. And it's not just the currents themselves, but we also look at the wave heights to examine just how much of those wave heights are going to be rapid, so how many times they come up to the shore in a matter of seconds. In my forecast sheets over there, I total the wave height in seconds. It'll say something along the lines of, say, 3 to 4 feet, 5 seconds, because it's kind of rapid. Now, that's a danger up north. Thankfully, we don't have them as quick usually as they do in the Great Lakes on a everyday basis, because they'll see waves hitting at about 2 to 3 seconds. That's why the areas of shipwrecks in the Great Lakes is so high, the concentration of those.
Oh, wow. Okay. And so for anyone who wants to gather some more information on rip currents, our beach accesses actually have some signage on them that tells you how to spot them and how to get out of them. Tell us a little bit about that, Trey.
So what we're looking at here on your screen is kind of what they'll have on the right side of your beach access points, and the signs. They'll show the low risk, moderate risk, and the red, of course, the most dangerous risk there, that's the high risk. But they'll show that on one side, and then on the other side, they're going to have something along the lines of what a rip current looks like. Now this, of course, we're going through the rip current desk. Talked about that moments ago, just a quick look at it. But what they're also going to show on the signs is the amount of rip currents that occur usually in certain areas, but also what the rip currents look like in terms of an aerial viewpoint. There's a quick look at some of the drownings. 14% of statewide drownings happen here in our area, in the Panhandle. But here's what it looks like on the sign. You'll see it. It sometimes isn't an actual photo, but it'll be colored almost like a cartoon image like this, but it'll show something along these lines. You'll have the circle, which kind of outlines the top of the rip current. You'll have the two lines on the sides, which show the side of it, and then you'll have lines in the middle, which show where you'd be pulled out to sea. But of course, if you do get caught in any of these, you either want to float on your back, or if you're going to try to swim out of it, don't try to swim vertical. So don't try to swim towards the shore or even back away. Just kind of get out towards the side there, parallel.
Okay, so to recap, right, you always want to make sure you're looking at those signs before you head out there, so that way you know exactly how to get out of a rip current. You want to make sure you're paying extra close attention, especially if it's on a windy day. And yeah, if you've missed any of this information we talked about today or want to recap anything, we'll have this on our website. We'll be right back after this.